the 5 to 25 challenge. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you, maybe you were asked when you got into real estate, hey, what's your goal? What do you want to make? What do you want to do in real estate? How many of you said 6 figures? Don't you lie to me now. How many of you said it? Yeah, I see a lot of hands. And that's okay. I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at the goal. That is a very, very obtainable goal. It's just funny because a lot of people enter real estate saying that, and yet very few either believe that they can do it or just simply don't know the roadmap. I don't think it's a motivational issue. A lot of people want to say, oh, I'm just not motivated. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second. So what we've done at Locker Room is our job is to simplify things for you. And this first section today is to create belief. I can go over all the strategies, all the tactics, but if you don't have belief first, it's probably not going to matter. And you're probably not going to take action. All right. So this 5 to 25 challenge is meant to really simplify things for you to create the belief in yourself that, holy crap, I can do this. All right. Let me know how we did here after about 30 minutes or so. We'll see. So we believe this is, in fact, the simplest path to earning 6 figures in real estate. So what the heck is the 5 to 25 challenge? To us, it's nothing more, nothing less. It's a simple formula to help agents earn 6 figures per year and be, drum roll, in the top 3% within the National Association of Realtors. Well, Jake, what are you talking about, man? Are you crazy? 3%? Yeah, because statistically, roundabout numbers, okay, roughly 97% of NAR sells 24 or fewer homes per year. Let me say that differently. Only 3% of NAR sells 25 or more homes per year. Now, I am not forcing my goal or anybody else's goal upon you. There's no judgment of any kind happening. Some of you are completely content making, or doing 10, 12, whatever deals a year. That's great. You find your place inside of this. I'm just going to assume that you want to earn, or dare I say, net 6 figures, and I'm going to use that based off some average market type assumptions. So you look at those numbers combined with the fact that 87% of real estate agents don't make it in this industry, guys, we got a problem. And the Locker Room has stuck their flag in the ground saying, we're not going to sit around idly, just watch this happen, right? We are built and tailor-made for the 97%, while everybody else, all the other coaching companies and things out there can compete against one another to obtain the 3%. That's fine. We want to grow and develop y'all. So you're putting that loud and proud on your refrigerator saying, look at me, look what I did. Right? So that's what we're all about. Now, what is your job description? How many of you got in this business and said, okay, that was really not fun getting my license and cramming for that test, but shoot, now what do I do? Or, damn, this isn't as easy as me making a couple of posts on social media and nobody's coming flocking to me to list their property, right? And it's especially not HGTV. Get out of here with that. Come on, right? So it's not as easy as some people lead it to believe, is it? Sometimes we do have a tendency to overcomplicate things, though. And again, today I'm going to create belief and show you a simple formula. It's just math. But before we do that, we've got to get one thing right. And that is, what is your job? In your packets, if you have that handbook, you'll see essentially if you sign and autograph that, it is a commitment that you're going to show up to work every day and do your job. We wake up every day technically like unemployed. You're a 1099 independent contractor, most of you. So what do we got to do? We got to go find work, right? So write this down. It's probably in your packet somewhere. I'm not looking at it. Number 1, real estate job description numero uno is every day, and I'll say Monday through Friday. Okay. Every day you lead generate. What does that mean, Jake? We'll get into that. Don't you worry. But the simple version is go talk to people about real estate and go make friends. Okay. Lead generate. Number 2, lead follow-up. Every day. There's always somebody to follow up with because you talked to somebody yesterday. Number 3, go on appointments. That's your job. Go on appointments. Number 4 is to negotiate contracts. negotiate contracts. And number 5, you know it. Some of you have heard this before, time and time again, script and role play. Every damn day, script and role play. Well, Jake, blah, blah, blah. No, don't do that to me now, because anything you've ever done successfully, take a sport, take piano lessons, take horse riding, I don't care. All of you have excelled at something. I guarantee you had to practice. You showed up on the practice field before it was game time. Why is this any different? Why are we going out and practicing on real life clients when we could practice on each other first? That is why number 5 is script and role play. So ladies and gentlemen, notice I did not say every day it's to update my website or order new business cards or work on that open house graphic or flyer. I'm not saying that some of those things aren't important, but until you've done those 5 things, I'm not so sure you went to work today. Okay, it's a choice. Yeah, but Jake, you don't understand. See, I don't have any appointments or contracts to negotiate. Okay, great. You have 2 options then. See number 1 and number 2 and follow up and lead generate until you do. Or you can see number 5, which is you can still role play it. Unless you can present that contract upside down across the table to somebody else, you haven't mastered it. Script practice, role play an appointment, script practice, role presenting your listing presentation until you have one. Every day, those 5 things. You'll love where you sit a year from now. Okay. Now, a closer look at this whole 5 to 25 thing. Here's our belief. All this is simple disciplines repeated over time that compound into massive results. What I'm getting ready to share with you, it's the whole time on task over time concept. It's those little simple disciplines, those moments of decision that if done correctly and you make the right decision enough times, end up compounding into big results. Conversely, the trickery of this simplicity is it's also the simple errors in judgment repeated over time that compound into the failures or disappointments. You guys, and again, I'm going to sports analogy you to death because I have that in my background. Baseball, softball, it's a game of inches. Okay, so I can be up to bat and hit a screaming shot to the left side of the infield, and I'm running, I'm chugging down first baseline, and I'm generally safe or I'm out by an inch or a fraction of a step. That's this whole pursuit of success thing in a real form, right? It's those little decisions that we're generally safe or out by a fraction of a step, right? And a lot of times it's those insignificant moments where it's like, you know, I've already talked to 9 people today. After all, it's late and I'm tired and I've heard a bunch of people tell me no. Look, that's a choice to pull up short if your goal was to talk to 10 people. It's that kind of stuff. It's that 1 extra degree, and we make decisions in the moment which seem insignificant, but that compound effect over time can really mean something. Okay, so as we like to say, I guarantee some of you out there right now, especially if you're newer, you're feeling the heat. This is a tough market. It's really tough. My heart goes out to y'all. This whole buyer fatigue and it's real. But I got news for you. It's not the 101 things that you need to do right now. It's not. I'm here to save you time and energy. It's the simple things that you need to do that we're going to show today and talk about today that need to be done repeatedly. What's the next right thing you need to do? Do it consistently, and then worry about doing it better than anybody else can do it. Okay. We grow up hearing things like, well, Jake, don't sweat the small stuff. And I mom and dad, I appreciate the advice. I get it in the right context of what they're saying. But today, in our context, I am going to encourage all of you, all 114 of you. I do want you to sweat the small stuff. I do. When's the last time somebody sent you a handwritten note or a thank you just because, or paid for your coffee in the line in front of you? That's all random small stuff. but it made you feel something, didn't it? So in today's context, I do want you to sweat the small stuff. It is the attention to detail in the little things, again, broken record, that can compound into big, big impact over time. The problem with most of us is we live in this popcorn society. We want instant gratification. We want it now. We sound like spoiled little brats. I have children, so I'm allowed to say that. And we just don't have the patience to see it through to the end and let the rewards end up paying you. We call it quits way too early. So, last example, then we'll move past this. You guys have heard this before, I guarantee it, but think of that game back in the day when somebody says, haha, I think I'm funny. So, hey, Kristen, I'm going to play a joke on you. Here's a riddle or, a prank. Would you rather have 1 penny a day that doubles every day for 30 consecutive days? Or would you rather have $1 million cash money? Here you go. Now, you guys know that's a bit of a trick question, but what's the temptation? Most people, instant gratification, would say, give me the $1 million right here, right now. Let's go, right? But did you know that a penny a day that doubles every day for 30 consecutive days? Who am I? I'm getting some kickback. Who's not muted? Where are you? Anyways, make sure you're muted. A penny a day that doubles every day for 30 consecutive days ends up being right around like $5.2, $5.3 million. So I'm talking like day 1 is a penny, day 2 is 2 cents, day 3 is like 4 cents, right? That keeps compounding over time. 30 days, you're at $5.2 million. Do you get it? You getting what I'm saying? So if I said, well, what if you just made 5 contacts a day? I'm not saying 20 or 100 conversations. I'm just saying, let's play the long game and bet on yourself. What if you just had 5 conversations a day, every day for 50 weeks out of the year? I'm going to show you some stuff here in just a minute. Last part on this point though. Success, whatever that means to you, whoever gets to define that, that's a whole different class. It's boring, you guys. It's repetitious. It is unsexy. It is mundane. It is whatever synonym, not cinnamon, synonym that you want to call it. Sorry, look, today I've got to make myself laugh a little bit because I'm going to do lots of talking. So dad jokes, they're on the way. Got news for you. It is boring. I use this example from last year, though. I'm watching the Major League Baseball home run derby, and this big guy from the Mets, some of you Mets fans out there, you know who I'm talking about, but he's getting ready to go in the final round. It's him and one guy. It's the last 2 men standing. And on ESPN, the camera goes into the tunnel underneath the stadium, and this big dude is putting a baseball on a tee in the middle of a home run derby, hitting a ball off of a tee. You can't make that up. Success is boring. It's repetitious. It's taken hundreds of cuts with a baseball on a tee to master your swing. It's making 5 conversations a day for 5 days a week out of 50 weeks out of the year to master your art, master your conversation. Make sense? It's not always going to be super duper fun and exciting. Adulting is hard. I get it. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. And if you just get over it and say, it's just part of what I've got to do. There are ways to make it fun, by the way. We'll get into that later. You just got to accept it. It's just a part of what we do if you're committed to being successful in real estate. So my question to you, hypothetically, is, are you willing to accept the boredom that's associated with mastery? I used to give baseball. That's what I did before real estate. Is I gave baseball lessons. I ran an indoor baseball training facility, and I'm working with 12-year-olds, and they're telling me, Coach, this is boring. Do I really have to hit the ball off of a tee? Boy, yes, you do. Because until you're making millions of dollars on television, you're going to do what I want you to do. We're going to master the fundamentals. I don't care how boring it is to you. You're missing the point. Lastly, I use a lot of stories and analogies you'll find, but again, think back to your childhood. You go to the doctor. He or she says, hey, an apple a day keeps the, everybody, yes, keeps the doctor away. Huh. You know, there's actually a lot of wisdom packed into that. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, why didn't they say it's okay if you just eat 7 apples on a Sunday? Doc didn't say that, did he or she? No, no, no. Doctor said an apple a day keeps the doctor away. See, the problem with a lot of us is we are human, therefore we procrastinate. We put things off. And when we do that, it tends to snowball. And now you've got something bigger than you can chew. Okay. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, just like 5 conversations a day keeps whatever your goals and, you know, all of that right in front of you. Hey, how about this? I just thought of an apple a day will, I'm okay. 5 conversations a day will keep your boss away. Oh, snap. So if you're in a situation where you want to fire your boss and quit your job, 5 conversations a day will keep your boss away. Now you are your own boss. I just thought of that. I'm kind of proud, not gonna lie. Okay. Here's the point, you guys. Are you ready? Are you ready, mathletes out there? Don't look away. Yes, it's an Excel spreadsheet. You're gonna be okay. I'll walk you through this. Now, before I do so, you've got to understand there's some assumptions here. We have a calculator. Just bear with me for the sake of assumption, because you guys come from all different companies. Some of you are on flat fee, 100% commission. Some of you are caps. I can't keep up with it all. So just humor me, okay? The assumption I'm making here at the bottom, see my cursor, is you are in a market with an average sales price of $250. Okay, I got to start somewhere. I'm going to pretend as if your average commission is 2.8%. Commissions are negotiable, blah, 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 blah. There's my disclaimer. So in that world, I'm also going to pretend that I work at a place with an $18,000 per year cap. That's where things are going to get real funky with all of you. And let's pretend I'm on a 70-30 split with my company. So I retain 70%. The company gets 30% up until $18,000. Fair? Just for the sake of example today. So let's look at this together, guys. It's just math. Don't let it intimidate you. If we said right here, right now, all 114 of you, hey, I got to start somewhere. So Jake, I am going to commit to talking to one person a day about real estate, just one. Okay, great. So if I did that for 5 days a week times 50 weeks out of the year, that means I will have worked 250 days. And because I'm talking to one person a day, that means I will have made 250 conversations. Everybody okay so far out there? Okay. Now, I need you to trust me on this, ladies and gentlemen. I have tracked this now for 6 years. Yeah, that's right, 6 years. If you are new or lesser experienced, or you just don't know what your conversion rate is, take mine, 2%. On an average basis, for every 50 conversations about real estate that you have, it will yield you one piece of business, 50 to 1, otherwise known as a 2% conversion. So simple math, if I just take 250 contacts times 2%, that means I will expect to close 5 deals per year. 5. How you feeling now? How's that work for you? Some of you might be super happy with that. That's cool. But if I jump over here in the middle, I'm going to now assume, because 250 times 2.8%, the average commission before splits is $7,000. Okay. Times those 5 sales says I'm going to gross $35,000 for the year before splits. And if I pay my broker, on a 30% split, that's 10.5. Of course, I'm going to have a coach. All right, that's a negotiable, I guess. Maybe I've got $5-6 worth of expenses, 30% towards taxes. I'm going to net $6,000. I like to talk in terms of net income, by the way, after expenses and after taxes. because there's too many frauds out there crossing stages, getting awards and plaques that are making you feel bad. You're comparing yourself to people that if they would just open up their P&Ls to you, you might not want to trade places with them so quickly. I will end my rant, but just trust me. Okay. How we doing? How do you feel about this? Is this enough for you if I just make one conversation a day? Now, some of you might chuckle at this, but if you're not tracking it and you don't know, this might be your current reality. This might be the pace you're on and you're wondering, why are things not happening for me? Maybe I should go get a real job. No, this is very much a real job. Are you showing up to work every day? So I'm going to move forward. It gets better. So remember these numbers. Keep an eye on this now. Watch what happens. You're going to watch this number change and you're going to watch these numbers change. I didn't touch anything else. You ready? Boom. Boom. You guys, 3 conversations a day. I don't care if you're part-time or dual career, whatever you want to call. You can't convince me that you can't talk to 3 people a day for 5 days a week for 50 weeks out of the year. Okay. So again, that's 250 working days. That's 750 conversations. See the compound effect now? 2%. I went from 5 now to 15 closed deals. And let's bump over here. Congratulations. You did what you said you wanted to do. You earned 6 figures. You haven't kept 6 figures, but you earned 6 figures by having 3 conversations a day. Stop it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now, yeah, taxes go up. You're now netting not $6,000, just shy of 50 grand net. That's a hell of a lifestyle for a lot of people. I'm talking net, guys. After expenses, taxes are paid. Like that's cash money in the bank for you to live your life off of. Just saying. So some of you, maybe this is you. You see this and you're like, boom, that's me. That's what I needed to see from this. I'm not done yet though. Here's the point of the 5 to 25 challenge. 5 conversations a day, ladies and gentlemen. It's just math. It's just math. All of this stays the same, except here, I've now made 1,250 real estate conversations over the course of the year by working 5 days a week for 50 weeks out of the year. You have a life. 2% conversion rate, boom, 25. You are now in the top 3% of real estate professionals in NAR by having 5 conversations a day. Stop making this so hard. I'm not saying it's fun. I'm not saying every day is going to be perfect, but it's time on task over time. And it proves the point of the compound effect that if I just do the right thing long enough, you will win. You will win. Are you seeing this over here? Let's just marinate in this for a hot minute now. And again, all of you have different commission structures. I get it. 175K after expenses. And I mean, yeah, maybe that goes up, but I'll tell you something. If you're paying that much to Uncle Sam, you need to fire your CPA, get a new person or something. Okay. So give or take, plus or minus, you are essentially netting 6 figures. Netting 6 figures. How are we doing now? And we're going to sit here and pretend that this job is so hard. People are mean. They're slamming the door in my face. They say no to me over the telephone. I didn't say you have to get a yes or anything from these 5. I'm just simply saying have 5 conversations a day with people about real estate. A lot of them are going to say no. Some will say not right now. Some are saying I'm already using an agent. But guess what? Out of those 1,250 conversations, I only need 25 to say yes. I got to sift through a lot of you know what to find the sugar. That's all right. It's worth it. And all we're doing is helping people, having real conversations with people and saying, hey, Thinking about buying, selling? I'd love to interview for that job. I think I could help you. That's it. That's it. Now, there's one more thing, and I want to get your thoughts after this one. Check this out. For those of you who maybe know your conversion rate is higher than 2%, notice before I go to this next slide, notice I am not changing the work or the time required. It will still remain 5. The only variable on this next one that I'm changing is this. What if you got better? What if it wasn't always 2%? Is it fair to assume that the more you do something, especially knowing your script and role playing every day, and now you're getting real world transactional experience, is it fair for me to say you're going to get better? Your skill set will improve with time. Is it also fair of me to say it gets easier because now you have referrals? You've got repeat referral business coming to you where the phone is actually now ringing. Watch, please, for the love that's all that's holy and righteous in this world, watch this. Wow. Wow. I did not change the work. I changed the skill set. I'm still having my 5 conversations. Oh my goodness. Now I'm closing 63 deals. Okay, fair. You might want to look over here. You hire you a transaction coordinator. Maybe you get you an admin. I don't know. But the point is, look at those numbers. Just because you got better. Look at that. Does that fund your life? Does that give your kids, your family, your loved ones, your friends, all those experiences and things that you know deep down you deserve? I'd be willing to bet so. That's pretty good money where I come from. As my good buddy Mark always used to say, that'll spend at Walmart. Right? I mean, come on, guys. So the takeaway from this, what is preventing you guys? This is kind of rhetorical, but what is preventing you guys from having 5 conversations a day? I really want you to explore that because something for most of you probably is. How do I know that? Because if you were having 5 conversations a day, every day, like I just showed you, you'd be closing 25 or more homes a year. So I know you're not. Most of you, some of you. So seriously, what is preventing? Is it fear? Is it doubt or belief? Is it time? Is it, I don't know. And again, your goal doesn't have to be to close 25 homes. So wherever you fall into that is fine with me. But what's preventing you at least from being consistent? Is it accountability? Are you willing to be held accountable by a coach, a peer, a mentor, somebody in your life? Because we are our own worst accountability partners. If you need a good one, by the way, and you have young children, tell your young child what your goal is and what it means to them because they get to go to Disney World or something. They will be bugging you every day, pulling at your pant leg. Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Can we go to Disney yet? Okay. Now, same thing. What if you treated this time, you protected that time, whatever time it took for those 5 conversations to happen? What if you treated that block of time the same way you would treat $1 million listing appointment? I mean, come on, let's get real. You're not going to go cancel $1 million listing appointment, are you? Hell no. So why are you canceling on yourself? You don't have a recurring time block on your calendar to do your lead gen. That's step 1. Get those 5 conversations in, dedicated time. And number 2, we can all time block, and we'll talk about that later today, but it's also one thing to be a person of integrity and do what you said you were going to do on that time block. Don't cancel it, because what you just theoretically canceled was $1 million listing appointment. How are you going to get any of those if you're not putting in the work and having the conversations? I just spoke. She might even be on here. I'm not sure. I had a coaching call prior to this morning. She just closed a $1.25 million deal down in Louisiana. Not bad. It's not an everyday occurrence for her, but that's not bad. Okay. How does it happen? The same way you met your loved one, your spouse, other important people in your world. It all begins with a conversation. At some point, he or she came up to you and said, "Hey, I think you're pretty good looking. Let's go out on a date. Okay, that was a really bad pickup line. But every relationship starts with a conversation. If you are not having conversations, you can't be mad at the results that you may not be getting right now. Okay? You have to, I implore you, if you take nothing more away from today, you've got to start building this muscle memory up, you guys. There's going to be a lot of noise, a lot of opinions coming at you. I guess I'm one of them. You can classify me in that group if you want. I'm just trying to help you and simplify your life and your business. Just like if I go to, I haven't worked out in God knows how long, okay? If I go to the gym right now, which is on the other side of this wall, by the way, if I go over there right now, am I going to be able to max out on bench press? Heck no. And even if I tried, what's going to happen to me tomorrow and the next day and the next day? I'm going to be so stinking sore that I cannot even get out of bed. Some of you, hello, you can relate. You know what I'm talking about. It's the same thing, guys. If this is a muscle that you haven't worked out in some time, I'm talking about making 5 contacts a day and consistently lead generating, that's a muscle that needs developed. You're gonna be sore a little bit starting out. It's okay. So if I say today I'm gonna make 3 conversations, in fact, the rest of this week, I'm gonna have 3 conversations. Cool, ease into it, work up to it. As long as I'm getting my reps in, I can then put more weight on the bars and add more weight to it and get to 5. But hold yourself to a different level and expect the metaphorical soreness to happen. I hope I'm connecting with you guys about this whole, you're going to feel sore kind of thing. I'm just relating an analogy to, it's not going to come very natural to you. You're not going to feel like waking up and going to the gym, just like you're not going to feel like waking up some days and going and talking to 5 people. But you got to push through. Got to work through that. I promise you it's worth it, and it gets easier. Okay. We will talk about your lead gen levers, as it says here, coming up in a couple of sessions. But here's the last thing I want to say, and then I'd love to hear from you guys. I got to stay on time. We've got to decide, ladies and gentlemen, we're adults. We got to decide. There's a lot of other people depending on us that if I stare at this phone and it looks like it weighs 10,000 pounds and I just don't feel like it today, sometimes I have to block my feelings that are preventing me from doing the very thing so many others are depending on me to do. I've got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old at home who depend on me that when daddy's at work, daddy's actually working. Because I could go home, I could go take them out of school and spend the rest of the day with them if I wanted to. So if I'm here, gosh dang it, I'm here and I'm working because I'm providing for something that's far bigger than my feeling in the moment or making it so much about me, 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 me. There's people out there who need us. We're doing God's work. They don't know how to navigate a real estate transaction. They need you. And God forbid they get paired with an agent who doesn't have that same heart and passion to serve them as you do. All because we were selfish and didn't pick up the phone or text them. And when I say phone, guys, I realize it's 2022. Conversations can be in the form of text, Facebook messages, belly to belly, whatever. Have a conversation. Okay. Went too far. So I'm going to stop here. Would love to hear from all of you. What did you hear? What did you just hear? I'm going to stop sharing actually. What did you hear? What spoke to you about what I just presented? Did your level of belief tick up a notch? Talk to me.
This is Elizabeth. I need to make 5 actual contacts a day, not just make 5 phone calls a day that go to voicemail.
Yeah. Oh, that's Elizabeth? Yes, Elizabeth, that is so good. You're right. Don't confuse attempts or impressions with conversations. I hear you. I share that frustration. There's only so much we can do. Who picks up the phone these days, right? But as long as I stay diligent and say, no, I made contacts and left a voicemail, that's somebody I can follow up with tomorrow. Job description number 2. But today, I've got to talk to 5 people. before my head lays down on that pillow, I'm going to talk to 5 people, even if I've got to pull out all stops and go up to the local coffee shop or Target or something and just talk to a stranger. Like, if you're committed, at the end of the day, you just got to do what you got to do to get those 5 in. Thank you for sharing that. What else?
I think
Oh, go ahead. I heard a female voice and then I heard a male voice. So let's go ladies first.
Okay. I thought it was really profound when you said, when you asked the question, would you cancel $1 million listing appointment? That really stood out, and I took notes and circled it and started, because those 6 points in the job overview are not difficult, but it is very easy to just not do them, to not prioritize those things. But if I treat it as if I would a $1 million listing appointment, I will absolutely not miss those things.
I spot on. Thank you so much for that. Is Holly correct?
Yeah.
Thank you, Holly. Appreciate that. I heard a gentleman, and then I see I've got 2 hands up. Oh, is it the big fella?
Yeah, it's the big fella. Hey, so one of the things that I really like about this is that in a business where the sales cycle is so long, and it's really easy to get lost in the focus of when my next closing is, this gives you something every day to focus on, so that you can focus on those leading indicators that will help drive your lagging indicators.
Chris, well said, my friend. And look, it's like being a parent. Again, I'm using that, no offense, but they say, like, when you have a child, they don't come with an instruction manual. And the unfortunate thing, which we talk about later today in the 19 things they don't teach you in real estate school, is being a real estate agent doesn't really come with a formal job description and put you in a box and say, now every day do this. Now, we have tools and training and things that we try our best to get in front of, but again, those 5 things, it's everything. So thanks, big fella, for the comment. I'm going to go to Mary Lou. What you got for us, Mary Lou?
Quick point of clarification. Jake, can you clarify what a relation or what a conversation is? Because you've mentioned picking up the phone, but if you can clarify a little bit more, what might constitute a conversation?
I would be happy to, Mary Lou, and you're going to get all sorts of definitions, you guys. I'm not one to overcomplicate things. So we know what a conversation sounds like, and it can be in the form, yes, of face-to-face, belly-to-belly, over the phone, over text, over Facebook message. That's how I am, just because I acknowledge it's 2022 and there's a lot of different forms of communication. Okay. Now, that being said, it counts in my world as long as real estate has come up in the conversation. And what's fascinating is, and we're not going to get into this right now because it'll take too long, but if I just come from curiosity and have like a normal conversation, like, don't be weird, don't walk around with commission breath, as they say, just be you and have a regular, normal conversation where you ask them questions. Generally speaking, if I ask them a few questions, what are they going to do next? They're going to ask me back, well, how are you? What's new with you lately? That is when the skies open up and the real estate gods are looking down on you. And the whole point you need to script and role play is because it's what you say next that matters. I'm fine, I'm good. Or do you say, you know, I'm great, I'm super excited because I just set my goals for 2022. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but I started my real estate journey out 3 months ago. And I just set these goals that I've got a goal of helping 25 families upgrade their lifestyle this year through home ownership. It would sure mean a lot to me if you ever knew of anybody that was looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, if you'd connect them with me. Can I count on you for that? Boom. Check the box. That counts. It should organically happen in a normal conversation, not us just calling people all weird and you haven't talked to them for 20 years and say, hey, who do you know looking to buy, sell, invest? Nah. And by the way, we have scripts and all that for those things. Katie, I'm doing really good on time. So I'm going to get Katie and Devin in here and then we'll move on.
Okay, I'll go quick. So first of all, I love how passionate you are about all of this, Jake. It's really inspiring how passionate you are about it and want to help everybody be so successful. And the second thing was, out of all of this, a lot of it really turns around to your mindset. And it's always like a really good reminder that how powerful your mindset can be. And the one thing that stuck out to me was the feeling that you might have in the moment doesn't mean as much as those that are depending on you. And I think that's really that's really huge. And that resonated with me. So thank you.
Thank you for the kind words. And you're right. And guys, that dovetails into things that Katie's mentioning there about like the big why and having clarity of around your purpose and why you do what you do. So thank you for that. Devin, land this plane for us, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So the big thing for me is this is how we differentiate ourselves from everybody else out there. New data that was just released last week. There are 124 million leads bought by agents last year. 6.1 million homes were sold. And as of last Friday, there are 2 agents for every active listing in America. So if we think that we can just go out there and buy our ways to success, I'm all about lead gen, as you know, but we still have to have the personal conversations and the personal connections if we want to make the money.
And this is, thank you for that, Devin. And this is coming from a guy, Devin is an impact coach with us who does classes on online lead gen and conversion. And he's sitting here still telling you the importance of nurturing and working and having a database on a personal level, not just going and buying pay to play kind of stuff through online leads. So thank you for that, man. All right. How we doing, everybody? We good? We are. I can't believe this. Coaches, note this. Those of you that have been in business with me, I just want to draw your attention to the clock. Like, I'm 2 minutes ahead of